Hello class, hello professor. My name is Cielo Sanidad and my ethical case study presentation is regarding robotics in dentistry. The original article that I found when doing my research was called Yomi, the first robotic dental surgery system now cleared by the FDA. The article summary stated is that Neosys is a company based in Miami who just released Yomi in 2017, the first ever FDA clearance robot to assist a dental surgical system. Yomi is used during a procedure based on the patient's CT scan, and the system continuously tracks the patient and controls the drill as the dentist does the procedure. The guarantee with Yomi is that the doctor does not stray away from the procedure while controlling the drill. Yomi allows the doctor to be quick if the plan changes, unlike surgical guides that are often pre-made for the patient ahead of time. And then here is a clinical video by Neosys showing how Yomi works.
I think guided surgery is going to be an interesting story for the public. 20 years ago, patients had no idea that guided surgery was remotely possible or what it meant.
With CT scans, with guidance, with robotic assistance, we can provide three-dimensional images that they can see what our planned surgery is and what their planned implant is going to look like. Those are all tools and steps that I think give the patient a lot more comfort, and they feel like they're really getting state-of-the-art treatment.
One of the advantages of Yomi over, say, a traditional surgical guide is that everything that I need to have is right in my own treatment rooms, right in the operatory. I don't need to send out for a guide. I don't need to wait days or a week for materials to come back from the lab. I can plan it and execute it right on the spot. It's really kind of uncanny because it is like having someone, this invisible hand, help you get to where you're supposed to be. So when you finally get into the right position, it locks in the correct angulation, and then you translate it into the right position. Ultimately, you step on the pedal, which starts the drill up, and then as you're drilling, it stops you from going too far. So you reproduced exactly what you planned to do.
So obviously, in addition to the mechanical guidance, it's giving you visual guidance because you're able to visualize what you're doing in real time on the screen. You're able to visualize your positioning, and you're able to visualize your actual osteotomy as it's being drilled. So not only do you have tactile and physical feedback, but you also have visual feedback because you're watching the monitor.
You're no longer relying strictly on your eye-hand coordination. You've got this precision instrument that makes sure the implant goes exactly where you plan to put it. I've done thousands of implants freehand. When I got done with Yomi and went back to doing freehand implants, I kind of missed having that reassurance that I was getting to precisely the right spot.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I will move on to my next article that I found regarding more information about Yomi and all its successes. The title is called Dental Surgery Robot Surpasses 1,000 Surgeries. So years later, as of January 2020, Neosys, the leader and pioneer in dental robotics, announced that more than 1,000 implants were placed in 2019 using the Yomi robotic system. As stated in the article, Yomi provides computerized navigation to assist in planning and surgical phases of dental implantation. Dr. Joe Griffin, a dentist who uses Yomi, states, "We've been able to use Yomi for many cases thanks to a quick learning curve. The system has been easy to incorporate, establishing a new standard care for implant patients." And then the next article that I found was regarding Yomi and how it is used on patients. It is titled, Your Dentist Robot Will See You Now. The use of Yomi on a patient was performed by Henry, a clinical associate of the Oral Surgery Department and Henry M. Goldman School of Dental Medicine, who uses Yomi's robotic arm with a drill near the patient's mouth. To make Yomi move, Henry states that the technician types instructions on a keyboard that will guide the movements of this robotic surgical assistant. Yomi has a screen on its midsection where it shows the inside of the patient's mouth. By working together, Henry and Yomi will drill into the patient's upper jaw and place an implant that will help the tooth. As stated in the article, the robot is guided. Henry states that the technician manning the keyboard types the command and Yomi's arm moves into position so the drill reaches the point where the implant is to go. Locked in, ready to drill, the operation finishes in an hour. And then, as the article continues, it shows another doctor using Yomi. His name is Ruben Figueroa, who is an SDM Associate Clinical Professor, and he was the other doctor who has been trained to use Yomi. And during an implant surgery along with Henry, Figueroa had created a virtual plan for placing the implant using 3D scans of the patient's mouth. During the operation, he says later, "When I saw where the machine guided us to place the implant, we looked at it clinically and saw it wasn't where we wanted to be." He and Henry tweaked the location, and Henry recalls how a previous freehand implant without the machine's help penetrated the patient's unusually low sinus. "Had we freehanded it this time," Henry says, "you're running the risk of going into the sinus again." So, this brings us to the ethical and legal dilemma regarding Yomi and the future of robotics in the healthcare industry and also dentistry, such as row fidelity. This issue raises the question of the role of the robot and the human regarding human-technology relationships. As technology progresses and we see that robots are becoming more prominent and more into the future, what will be the role of the robot and the doctor in this situation, and how can we let the patient know when doing their treatment plans? The second ethical and legal dilemma stated is informed consent. In this case, the patient should be notified of all aspects of treatment, and how if Yomi guided the doctor wrong, the patient should know the possible implications that could happen during surgery. And then the last one, but not least, is autonomy. Not all healthcare robots are autonomous robots. Yomi in this case is remote controlled by an oral surgeon, and autonomy means that the robot is designed to carry out tasks without continuous human guidance and assistance, preferably in an unstructured environment. This development could lead to a future scenario in which robots would replace human care workers. As indicated before, this is ethically problematic. So, as we look into the future then, this arises moral agency, in which robots do not seem to have the capacity of moral reasoning, or more generally, of dealing with ethically problematic situations. Hence, when a moral problem arises within the human-robot interaction and within the healthcare situation, there seems to be a problem. The robot is given more autonomy, in the sense of doing tasks by itself without human intervention, but does not seem to have the capacity of moral agency. It can do all kinds of things, but unlike humans, does not have the capacity to reflect on the ethical quality of what it does. And then these are my discussion questions, and the first question is basically, as technology progresses and robots are becoming more prominent in the healthcare field, and even if humans are still part of the care process, what exactly should the role of the robot be, and the role of the human? What tasks can and should be delegated to the robots? And in general, should they assist or take over human tasks? When and where should they do what? The second question I have is that Yomi is one of the many new technology robots developed over the years that it has become the possibility to be the new normal in the future. So how does the introduction of robots reshape ethical responsibilities? And the last question I have is, would you trust Yomi with the oral surgeon the procedure to do your own implant? And then these are my references, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.